So we will go back in, Anthony. We apologize for that disruption. Ke atu, 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 kashkia tualama, kashkia tualama, kashkia tualama, katka, 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 katka. Ke atuala, ke atuala, ke atuala, ye. Ke atuala. Yes, well, we will continue with the questions, Anthony.
Mm. I'm just checking. I'm assuming you finished off. Where am I going?
Where am I going? Well, let us see what we may have missed. Where am I going and what is the plan? I think the overview of that, just to explain, is that there is a divine plan. There is a crafted individual plan, but it is up to you to provide access via meditation, silence, time spent envisioning your future, to create a framework for this plan. Did we talk about building the solid structure of the plan, Anthony?
No. I talked about a map.
We talked about a map, but we offered the idea that. So, did you hear us offer the ideas about the meditation and?
Yes.
Yes. So, and we talked about how that when you follow these pathways, something becomes clear, and then you anchor it, and it begins to feel right. Did we get that far? Yes.
Yeah, I think so as well. Yes.
Yes. So when that becomes right, then that becomes a part of your solid framework. Yes. 3-4D. And then you build on that, and you are looking for energetics contained within this thing, which still will have a real world application time, but you are looking for a sort of a spiritual container, energetics, that you get the sense is going to hold you as you journey forward into your expanded self. These are sort of the best opportunities, really, that you are looking for at this time. And as many channels and messages are coming through to humanity at this time, life in the 3D is life in which every individual follows their excitement. There are no longer rules and shoulds and survival and scarcity issues. There is abundance, there is beauty, creativity, all possibility available. And if you wish to maintain the frequency of this highest timeline, it is that you move constantly towards your excitement, that which excites you. And those hours in the day, you will feel it. Do not worry. This is when you know you are working in accordance with your plan. When you are doing what truly excites you, you will feel, yes, I am on my path for this future, which we must stress, and we sense it in the uncertainties contained within your question, Anthony, which is there is no known future at this time.
Yeah.
So when you say, is there a plan, we stress again, yes, there is a divine plan. There are ancient knowings and advanced knowings, advanced races, and there are knowings that know exactly what is happening to Earth and its destiny, and the people who choose to journey with her at this time, because many will not choose to make this transition with her at this time as the frequencies raise, and they will be taking their leave at this time, and that is their soul choice and their soul contract, and that is how it is meant to be for them. So there is no sadness other than that of missing your beloveds, but to know that they have gone to exactly the right place and dimension that their soul has chosen at this time. So this is all actually part of this divine plan, that many will leave, and those who stay will be aligning themselves to the frequencies and doing their best to learn and move forward on this very encompassing spiritual journey at this time.
And I think pretty much you've answered the next question anyway, which is how do I get where I'm going? You've basically just covered that off, achieving one's spiritual mission.
Yes, but the danger in any word, including, mission is a very charged word and achieving is a very charged word.
Yeah.
We have talked before, really, as many teachings are offering at this time. The way forward is to live each moment. Each moment we are reminded of that movie that was there, whether it was a dark or white hat, but it was the men in black, and the galaxy that they were after protecting was a little glass bobble around the dog's neck. It's like that tiny ball, that is what you are protecting and growing. It is not always what it seems, if that makes sense. So this huge potential around you at this time must be contained within your daily breath. This is why breath work is a very, very common theme amongst the healing arts at this time, because breath cleans out the old and creates space in the minute. It creates embodied space in the moment you are doing it. And this sense of I clear out the old and I move into 0 point, I move into neutral space, ideally is how the human will be living as many minutes in their day as they can at this time. Because into that clearly breathed space, for what you are doing can come appreciation and gratitude. That is ideally what we fill it with. Even when the tasks are hard and the days are difficult, through the breath, we are able to simultaneously invite in strands of gratitude for the challenge, or however you see it. And then through the breath also we realize we have survived that moment to the next moment and to the next moment. And then in the next moment comes the answer to the vision and the dream that we ejected out into manifestation in the moments I was living yesterday. And suddenly, because I've ejected it purely with a clear heart and a clear space, the answer drops in. And it is like a divine jigsaw happening within every moment. Not that you necessarily get to see the whole creation, but just to know that each fragment of your day is housing a fragment of the new life you are building, really. If you continue to remain attached to the past, if you have cords and strands, which many, many, many thousands of people on the planet do at this time, persist in defining their lives according to what happened to the past, or what the family did to me, or what happened to me in that terrible moment. These are the energies which we suggest really cleansing and clearing and updating at this time. There are many practitioners around who can do this work for you. This is the work this one does in her private practice, because these old patterns, especially the patterns of the ancestors, are coming forward at this time to be cleansed and cleared, so that lineages can move forward into the light and into the new world without obstruction and wounding and trauma that has been attached to the past. And so this is definitely part of the map, Anthony, which is to really feel into the work that is calling to be done and do not deny it, and to take whatever steps you can towards updating yourself into the present moment. This seems like a simplistic idea. It is not. It involves a lot of clarifying and purifying and rigor around addressing self and addressing, as we say, the ancestral lines, and addressing any aspect of self, whether it be physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, that is holding you back. There are practitioners and forms of healing available for each one of these aspects and more. So we can open to these fields and invite in whatever healing is required, and then you will feel, yes, I am on path. It is not always easy, it is not always pleasant, but I am doing the work. And as we have said before, we are very close to a time of celebration. So as that celebration time comes nearer, how good is it to feel, yes, well, I have done as much as I can to be prepared for this time of celebration, and to enjoy all the abundance and the loving and the light of the high frequencies as they come bounding, and they move out of invisibility on the planet into the visible. And it is understood that these pathways of light have always been here, and they are now available to all.
Very good. Hey, my next question is sort of relates a little bit to what we've already talked about, but anyway.
Yes.
When our physical bodies are worn out and it's time to have a new adventure, I'm getting conflicting information that says you should not go towards the light. Otherwise, you will be electronically zapped and then given a story that you need to amend some karmic debt. You'll be cycled back as a captive spiritual prisoner and kept in a lower 3D environment endlessly. This is very contrary to near-death experiences. Is there some element of truth in this?
Yes, as we explained, but we moved quickly past, that is a description of what we would call the past life looping that has been happening, that was created by the Dark Ones to keep the human souls imprisoned in this last period of time. It is our understanding that this loop is now destroyed, and it was linked to the moon. The controlling power was held in the moon, which, as we know, is not an organic object. The true moon will return at some point in our future, but for now there was control mechanisms set up in the moon to keep this program running. And yes, this story of you die, and yes, I mean, indeed, the story of review and planning your life and coming back down again in a way that has an aspect of that which is a description of that cycle. Yes. So when that is broken, this means that souls from any planetary aspect, it isn't just repeating human souls, that once again souls will be able to choose their lifetime, their future experience in a much wider world. We are also needing to just bring up the point of the fact that the, lifespan of the human being has been also strongly curtailed by these Dark Ones. The human being was once living for 600 to 1,000 years, and when the new DNA of human 2 and 3.0, we are not sure which number, but the new human will, once the solar flash and the full upgrades have happened and the crystalline body is in place, the new human will indeed have once again these very greatly lengthened lifetimes. Some souls, the greatest souls, will be able to live for not immortal, but 5,000-10,000 years, and the average soul will be living to 800 or 1,000. This is actually in the human full DNA. But when the DNA was moved from the 24 down to the 12 down to the 2, this tiny fragment of the original divine plan of the human, lifespans have been greatly curtailed. So, and this was linked to this repetitive prison cycle, where the only option you had was humanity, and then it is a learning planet and it is a teaching planet, but it was also put into frameworks which were then sort of maintained by religious dogma, and which involved the concept of sinning and punishment. And so souls came in sort of ready for these frameworks, which of course have never served the full evolution of the soul, who itself is the Godhead, contains its own soul, and certainly does not need a mediator, a priest who is given man-made authority to reach God through. Every person can reach the divine through their own being.
Fantastic. A different topic now. Lately, there's been some discoveries using satellite ground penetration radar in the pyramids at Giza. Large cylinders and spirals that go to a large chamber. Does this also relate to the chambers in the Sphinx? And are you able to comment on this?
This whole area is a vast network. It is, we would say, a village, we would say a city, we would say a civilization, yes? We are talking about a grounding of divine frequency and history of the higher races here on planet Earth. This is happening all over the planet. And the sacred sites have never just been what shows up on the surface or even what happens in excavations. Many of the sacred sites go, miles, kilometers deep. We know that the Dark Ones have used the center of the planet to build virtual cities for their own supposed preservation at this time. Likewise, previous races of light built vast cities and chambers of light, and using all of the galactic tools, yes, and frequencies, all frequency-based, sound-based, created through this way. We know also that Antarctica is a vast field of this, vast cities, vast creations, vast pyramids, vast, in a way, civilization, certainly a city of planet Earth, as big as many of the great cities. This was in Antarctica, but covered up. So these divine anchorings, these previous incarnations of other divine races on planet Earth are simply not known. We know the history of the Earth is not what mankind is told and written about in books, that a lot of this is formatted within this sort of matrix limitation to make people believe what they believe. But simple things like the existence of the culture of Tartaria that will be becoming known to mankind soon, and what really happened on the planet in the past, it is so mind-boggling for the average human citizen. So these discoveries, which are coming forth under the name of geology or these archaeological discoveries, These are things that can be explained. Oh, such and such has been found, under the earth or under the ice. And when it is explained in an archaeological perspective, there is some part of the current human brain that can grasp this. And then when it is shown in detail that what has been discovered is actually possibly material from the future or from unknown races, this is when the real time of information and the cracking of the old historical matrices will start amongst the general population. This is how it has been chosen to reveal the truth of the planet's history at this time.
Fabulous. I think we've covered some of this off in previous questions, but anyway, for a person that is on his or her spiritual path, what would be your best advice to give so they can be more in touch with their higher selves to help uncloak their veils, so we could be more in touch with and communicate with our higher selves and communicate with other life forms, animals, and other spiritual entities?
Yes, we have covered this in various forms in other Q&As and other deliveries. However, it never hurts to repeat. The question was a little complex. We have just repeat the last part of it, please.
So we could be more in touch with and communicate with our higher selves, communicate with other life forms, as in animals and other spiritual entities.
Yes, well, there are two strands, are there not, to this? One is the fact that you must excavate for yourself an inner life. And this involves taking the time out of the working hours of the day and the old stories around the working hours of the day to provide the rhythms in your life of meditation at the simplest level, mindfulness throughout the day, prayer if that is your path, but most importantly, as this one is being challenged at the moment, receptivity to the energies which are here. So the second strand is that the energies are already on the planet. And so it is more of a word we use a lot of to you, surrender, and allowing a receiving of that which is already here, to get out of your own way, as it were, to dream the big dreams, to open the heart more than you thought possible, to imagine more than you thought possible, to be a bit kooky, to reach into the woo-woo, to also, do solid work on grounding and cleansing of the body and the being. These are all tasks and awarenesses which open you to that which is already here. So some and many are already, as we have said, having connections with galactic families or higher messaging in their dream time, in their meditation space. The frequencies are here. You must have intention that you desire to connect with, for example, your galactic family or your guidance teams or the frequency of the goddess or your God spark. It is good to have intention and asking for this. Please lean into your angelic assistance if that is what you have around you. Every person has their guardian angel lean into that and ask. Remember, the key is doing the work as in saying, I am valuable. I am a spark of God. It serves me to take time out of my day to create space for dialogue with these divine forces and bring them from the higher realms, from the 5 or 6 or 7D down through the 4 into the 3 or 4 where I currently am. So that is my most earthly commitment to make. And then it is, well, I have my frequencies and they are developing. Can I attune myself to a wider sense of this, a wider sense of listening? Kea tu, kea tu, kea tu, kea tu, kashkia tu alama, kashkia tu alama, kashkia tu alama. Can I do this at a wider sense of listening? And then can I learn? Can I open myself? Is there study I can do to refine this awareness further in me? Are there teachers? Are there healers? Are there just deeper states of being that I can enter where I feel these energies settle in around me more fully? I feel them more move into embodiment within me more fully. This is, of course, where nature and time and nature comes in. And indeed, nature is the shortcut, we would say, to much of this, which is to get out of your head and just sit and be within nature means that a lot of these higher codings will find you. So knowing that the frequencies are here is an important part of it, having intention to be with them, experimenting. As we have said before, as telepathy is coming onto the planet now, make a time and a date with a friend to have a telepathic conversation and then check in. Have a chat with your cat and your dog. See if your levels of communication are deepening with these fine beings at this time. You know, call in your angels. See if you can get visuals. See if you can do visualizations which enhance this. Now, to sum all this up is a point that we have spent some time on in the past, which is that the key will be attuning your pineal gland. The pineal gland is indeed the radiant center of your, shall we say, your galactic beaconhood. Yes, it is when it is vibrating fully. This frequency which you are will be resonating out through all fields, all dimensional fields. And the cleaner and clearer this beacon is resonating, the higher and higher are the fields that you will be able to reach. So again, the nuts and bolts, you know, we've talked about this and it is available, you know, to most importantly get off the fluoride, get pure water, and you can do the research on other things that block and create calcification around the pineal, and to take this seriously now about this moving away of old frequency, old stuck energy that has covered the majesty of this divine beacon within you. Yes.
And it's the same thing. I think this is pretty much covered off, but I'll just ask the question anyway. With the changes that we and the Earth are going through with this Earth shift, I would have to assume that those who have opted for the crystalline path, this process of learning the higher spiritual aspects of oneself then would become more an automatic process.
Yes, it is becoming easier every day for those who are fully committed and on their path. Easier, of course, can also mean that they are being suddenly and deeply challenged as some core aspect of some ancestral line or some physical trauma the uncovering, as we know, is many layers. And until, the joke would be until you die or until you ascend, the journey doesn't finish. So, however advanced the soul is, these layers are going to keep coming up for examination and embracing and purging and the enlightenment that they offer. But the difference is, since the frequencies have raised on the planet, which is very noticeable over the last 1 to 2 years, these processes are now able to be moved through at great rate. I mean, this one and other practitioners she speaks to have noticed that in their healing practices, the journeying is faster, the healing is deeper, the core aspects are making themselves much more visible for people to name and to see and to work with. And when these are cleared, there is a much greater resultant layer of freedom and expansion in the being. So we are now really into a time of this nitty-gritty, as it were. The bottom of the well is cleared out, and then after this there may be days of bliss, times of bliss. Bliss may always be with you, and then there may be a downhill, and then there may be an uphill, and then there may be the body aches, and then there may be the eyes misbehaving. We are on an ascension journey, and for those who are truly on path, they will be feeling the movements within their body, the frequencies entering the body, and it's not that this is all pleasant all the time. Indeed, there patience and understanding is required as this journey happens in mind, body, spirit, and heart. Yes.
Fantastic. I've finished with my questions. I'm just wondering if you wanted to cover off or say anything in relation to the overall topics that we've been talking about, or anything else that you would like to share at this particular point in time.
Yes, thank you, Anthony. We will feel into this. Humanity is a masterfully designed race. And we who view you from afar, not as far as you feel, are amazed as we see this long suppressed DNA awaken across the planet in colors and diamond shards of being within bodies after these moments that have been talked of today, these moments of enlightenment, these moments of challenge. The colors and the frequencies coming online within the human bodies of those who are truly committed to this ascension path. It is a thing of wonder. And indeed, we are already celebrating on these higher realms, because we see now the glory of humanity is on track to its destined return to be this great race amongst other races of the galaxies. And we honor each and every one of you on this path. We honor each and every one of you listening to this call and following your hearts and listening deeply to self and being open to the new information that is all around the planet if you seek it. And we are very proud of the human race, and we say this as your brothers and sisters, your future selves. We are living in joy and amazement at this time. We watch the drama playing out, but we see beyond the drama because we have the ability to do so, and we understand there is a darkness to be journeyed through. But think of it as clouds, dear ones. Think of it as murky, misty clouds that are covering, that when they lift, there will be vistas of great light available to you. And we just wish to give you our blessings and our love, our respect, and just to say we are truly in amazement and honor of you as you journey on this path. So blessed be. We do love this time with you, and we love this dialogue with you. Thank you very much, Anthony, and to the Swan, the Sylvia, and we will say our farewells at this time.
Thank you, and God bless the group of 100.
Blessed be. Great. So here we are. And so I hope you enjoyed that, everybody. And it's a beautiful time to be alive, isn't it?
And just a quick note for all the people that have enjoyed this, please can you like, share and subscribe?
Yes, indeed. That would be lovely. Okay, dear ones. Okay, Anthony. See you later.
Bye-bye.